Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Learn to Explore. Hope you all are doing well and studying also. As you people are in class 12, you must know that there are two blocks of economics, Indian economy and macroeconomics. In the last video, we have started with the first chapter of first book, Indian economy. The first chapter is India on the eve of independence. So, guys, to get more content and more videos, more lectures on the economics, please do share, like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, don't forget to share and recommend to your friends. In case you have any suggestions or anything or any complaint and anything you want me to improve, you can tell me in the comment section, and to download the PDF of this class, you can join our Telegram channel from the link given in the description below. So let's start with a quick revision of what we have done in the last class. To get the more explanation, exact explanation of introduction and the agriculture sector given in this chapter, please go back to the first video and then come to it. You will know the better about introduction. So let's just take a quick revision of the last class. Firstly, we did the definition of economy. Economy of a country includes all economic activities, including production, distribution, monetary transactions, which includes people and their standard of living. And here in this chapter, we also got to know about the British colonial rule and their policies, how they expand their industrial base in India, and they exploit Indian economy for their own benefit. But we also got to know that before the advent of British rule, agriculture was the main source of livelihood, and handicraft industry of India had a worldwide market base. But the colonial policies were concerned with production and promotion of British economic interests, which lead to fundamental change in structure of Indian economy. And also there was no sincere efforts made by colonial government to estimate India's national per capita income, etc. The conditions of different sectors of Indian economy was as follows. We already did agriculture sector, but let me explain you in a quick manner. Agriculture sector was affected by low level of agricultural productivity. There was high dependency on monsoon. There was lack of proper input. Commercialization of agriculture was increased. Investment in terracing and flood control drainage. मतलब there was no sufficient investment or consent from British government for the Indian poor peasants. वो लोग चाहते ही नहीं थे कि भारतीय किसानों का कुछ भला हो. They were only concerned about their interests, what they will get from it. इसका पूरा एक्सप्लेनेशन जानने के लिए आप इस चैप्टर की पहली वीडियो को देख सकते हैं जो इसी चैनल की प्लेलिस्ट में अवेलेबल है. सो लेट्स बिगिन विद द नेक्स्ट सेक्टर. नेक्स्ट वाज इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर. इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर यानी औद्योगिक उद्योग. जो भारतीय उद्योग थे उनकी उस वक्त क्या स्थिति थी, वो कैसे डील कर रहे थे ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसीज के साथ. फर्स्ट, देयर वाज डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी टैरिफ पॉलिसी. मींस British government allowed traffic-free export of raw materials from India and tariff-free import of British industrial products into India. In this way, they exploited Indian economy from both the sides. What they used to do is they used to get the raw materials from India at free tariff, so that they get the raw materials at very cheap rate. But after making the product as a final good, they used to sell it to India with highly imposed tariffs. In this way, they earn not only the tariffs by imports, but they save their money on the exported raw materials from India. High heavy duty on export of handicraft products was imposed. It leads to decay of handicraft industry in India, and it could not stand in the world of British government colonial rule in India. Another was competition from machine. The low cost and better quality product produced by machine forced the Indian craftsmen to shut down their handicraft industry in India, because it is very much obvious that handicraft industries, the products made by hand, cannot cannot give the competition to the products made by machines, because there is a process involved which is very much time consuming if the production is done with manually. Also, there was new patterns of demand emerging. Owing to British rule in India, a new class of people emerged. This changed the pattern of demand against the Indian products and in favor of British products. As a result, the Indian history tended to perish because they were trying to provide the cheapest material to the market. So the new patterns of demand doesn't want anymore the best product, but they want the cheap products which are produced by the machines. The next factor affected industrial sector of India was more market for British goods. Introduction of railway facilitated the transportation of British products to different parts of the country easily. Resultantly, the size of market for the low-cost British product expanded more, and the market shrank for high-cost Indian products. Then the next is capital goods industry. Industries which produce machine tools, which are in turn in use for producing articles for current consumption, were hardly promoted in India. In fact, there was no efforts made by British government to start any capital good industry in India, क्योंकि वो चाहते ही नहीं थे कि इंडिया में ऐसी मशीन्स बनाई जाएं जो फर्दर प्रोडक्शन में काम आती हैं. They want India to become independent completely on British. Then the next is limited area of operation under public sector, confined only to railways, power generation, communication, ports, and some other departmental undertakings. These are the only works or public sectors which were under the government. They were not anything else concerned to the British, but there was many issues with the poor peasants and handicraft workers with India, but there was nothing to be taken care by them. Then the next is foreign trade. Due to discriminatory tariff policy adopted by British government, India became the net exporter of raw materials and primary products such as raw silk, cotton, wool, sugar, indigo, jute, etc. On the other hand, it also became the net importer of finished goods produced by British industry like silk and woolen clothes, light machines, etc. What they want is to get all the Indian money and benefits and profit to taken out from India and get it to Britain. उनकी जो टैरिफ पॉलिसी थी वही डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी थी, मतलब पक्षपातपूर्ण थी. वो पूरी तरह से ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट के पक्ष में ही थी. Guys, also you can rely on these notes. These notes are made from the NCERT books, and you do not have to read it separately. In case you have any confusion, you can ask me, and I can assure you that you can rely on these notes. I have included all important points from exam perspective, so you can cover the whole chapter from this PDF, and you can download this PDF easily from our Telegram channel, and link is given in the description below. The next thing that affected foreign trade was composition of exports and imports showed the backwardness of Indian economy. Exports and imports were largely restricted to only Britain due to monopoly control of India's foreign trade. Also, opening of Suez Canal further contributed in intensifying British control over India's trades. They did not allow Indian market to trade with other countries. And the other point was surplus profit made and account of foreign trade during the British rule was distributed on administrative and as well as on war expenses. It was only used to increase the pursuits of British government, ultimately led to the drain of Indian wealth. Surplus, whatever surplus they used to earn from the trade was distributed in British for the administration purposes of British government. They was not used for the Indian public, and this ultimately led to the drain of Indian wealth. Then, what was the demographic condition of India? Let's look. High birth and high death rate implied low survival rate, which was nearly 8 per thousand per annum. Life expectancy was also very low, 32 years, which show the lack of healthcare facilities, lack of awareness, as well as lack of means for healthcare. This was the condition of Indian demography during British rule. Literacy rate was low at 16%, and female literacy was only about 7%, which reflected the social and economic backwardness of the country. Then there was no efforts made for the health facilities, public health facilities, as they were largely unavailable to the larger section, or when available, it was inadequate. Consequently, rampant water and airborne disease were there, and it took overall mortality rate very high. Life expectancy rate was too low, only the 49 years as compared to 69 years in at present. These were the conditions which make our economy very much stagnant. So, on the eve of independence, India was not able to fulfill the basic demands of its population. There was no infrastructure, no public infrastructure, either for education, not for public health facilities like medical care and primary services, etc. Life expectancy was low, death rate and birth rate was very high. People were not aware, they were not literate, they were not even able to fulfill their bellies. The stagnant situation was there. Then the occupational structure. Agriculture was the principal source of occupation, and about 72.7% of working population was engaged in the agriculture on the day of Independence Eve. Only 10.1% of the working population were engaged in manufacturing sector, which showed the backwardness of Indian industry at the time of independence. That was due to the industrial revolution in Britain, which further decayed the handicraft industry of India and contributed to deindustrialization in India. Only 17.2% of the working population were engaged in the service sector, which also proved the slow growth of tertiary sector at the time of independence, because people were not literate or skilled enough to work in the service sector. So there was very less population involved in the tertiary sector during independence. Also, there was an unbalanced growth of Indian economy at the time of independence. Most of the population was dependent on agriculture. There was huge unemployment, disguised unemployment, underemployment, and many issues involving around it. Infrastructure. Infrastructure development during the British era of transport and communication. There was only the few infrastructure development. Introduction of railways was a major breakthrough, followed by the development of some ports and construction of some roads. Because the motive of British government was only to foster the interest of British government, then to accelerate the growth of Indian economy. They were not concerned about the growth of Indian economy. They were just interested in the interest of British government. Also, there was transition from barter system of exchange to monetary system of exchange. मतलब पहले जो वस्तु विनिमय पद्धति थी उसको अब उन्होंने मॉनेटरी सिस्टम से चेंज कर दिया. अब हर चीज के लिए पैसों की जरूरत होती थी, which facilitated division of labor and large scale production. So these were the condition of all the sectors of Indian economy on the day of independence. To conclude, we can say on the eve of independence, country's agriculture sector was already saddled with surplus labor and extremely low productivity. The industrial sector was also crying for modernization, diversification, capacity building, and it increased public and for increased public investment. There was prevalence of rampant poverty and unemployment, which required welfare orientation of public economic policies. all the sectors were in the bad condition, not in a condition of not in a condition to serve the people, to serve the country's interest, and to make them able to fulfill their values, to fulfill all their needs. So there was a need of welfare orientation of public economic policy. Hence, the government used the mixed economy model, where the essential sectors were still worked under the public sector, under the government, so that they can contribute to working for the poor middle class, poor peasant and farmers. I hope you have understood this chapter well. In case you have any doubt, you can ask. You can also download this PDF from the Telegram group. And guys, please do let me know in the comment section how's your experience with the class. We have completed the chapter in 2 classes and we'll be starting the next chapter soon. Please join our Telegram channel for the upcoming updates, and do let me know in case you want anything else. Thank you. Hope you have enjoyed the class. Guys, study well, and please don't forget to share and subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you.